I haven't even started napping obsidian yet and I'm bleeding, and that's because I was napping basalt, which ended up not working out. So this is a piece of Napa glass obsidian, and we're going to make a Humboldt point for Christian Markham. Hammerstone here. That's the really high quality type of obsidian there. So this side we're gonna thin down to this side because this side's longer. This side's not as long, so we're gonna try to break off flakes from that side. But the problem is this angle might overshoot here. Just hit it very lightly. It's just like plasticky obsidian almost. There it goes. Removing this side first. Of course, it's always nice to get spalls off too. Spalls that you can use. Try to get a bigger flake off this corner. Goes. We got rid of that hump there, running it up the side. So now we're working down to the side that has more length, which is great. We still have a long way to go off this edge here. You can use that edge to keep sending flakes off of that side. And I hope that I'm not out of frame. I'm not trying to remove anything off this face over here other than flakes used for making platforms. Look at the quality of this. This is like very homogeneous, really clean obsidian. Since we thinned down a lot of that side already, careful of all the little flakes. I'm gonna make this square edge just a little bit more, just thinner a little bit. And once I do, I'll come from this side over here and then turn it over and start changing that angle a little bit. Some overhanging edge, but we can still get some flakes off of it before we remove it. Get rid of that back side so I don't cut myself. And this is a good platform over here. Get rid of the remainder of that hump. Got the hammerstone right in that little corner to get rid of the hump. And now we're pretty much in the clear. Go back and forth and it won't really matter. We won't lose length because we've thinned it down to this side. Now we're good. And that platform failed right there because it had a double V on the top of the platform. Oh, that was a deep flake. Mean for it to be that deep, but that's okay. Right now, I just want to work off this stuff here. Turn this edge. Get a big old flake up on this top side. This type of obsidian was traded very far down south because of its high quality. However, it is more brittle than other kinds. It's actually not as durable when it comes to using it as a tool. So while it may be easy to knap, that also makes it easier to break as a tool. So that can be a problem. But as a modern flint knapper who goes to the grocery store, I don't really care if it breaks faster. I'll get these flakes to go over and get rid of this square edge. There's a square edge on the bottom too. Maybe I should make a Clovis from this piece. Just a lovely stone. I think I'll stick to the Humboldt. I'm gonna try to do some tight parallel oblique percussion, or I mean pressure. get rid of the thickness on the tip here before we end up breaking it. Lose just a tiny bit of length on this area where we get a necessary evil to remove some of that thickness so that we can create a better platform to remove that thickness right there. Prefer to move it in the beginning than later on. Ah! Little ones there. These big, thicker edges from when we were doing percussion. So they need to be taken down. I'm going to turn this edge up a little bit. Take a flake over this way before I go the other way. This side. Okay, that's a sign that we need to turn it the other way. I know the lighting is behind me right now. The sun is setting, so it's reflecting off the wall. But I think you can still see what I'm doing. The iPhone is pretty good with adjustment with light. So I just took a random continuous edge flake, and then once I take the first one, I'll usually do a bit of spacing. So I took that first one, which was kind of didn't come out super nice, but then I spaced it a little bit with these shorter flakes here, and then do that guy. You can see the ridge, so we have to get rid of that ridge by hitting straight in. And now we've got a better platform that will send a flake, or that's more likely to send a flake straight in and completely perpendicular to our edge than if we weren't. If we weren't doing those spacing flakes. So we still have some cortex on the base, so let's get rid of that. I'll do a smaller flake right there in the corner, and then I'll do one at the very base, across. And then honestly, that's so thin it could be pressure flaked off, but we can get rid of the cortex. We've got two options here. We've got some thickness over here. We could use this guy right here to launch a flake there, or we've got a lot of thickness over here. We could go in there, but this side is probably a better option because it's less inset. It's just a matter of doctoring up that platform and making it strong enough so that we can send a flake across and hopefully get rid of that. Oh, completely hinged. I didn't hit it right. I may have caught too much of the platform or hit it too inward. Felt good. We'll have to get it from the other side. That's why it's good to have options. Fortunately, the point style that we're making, it's not super wide, not very wide at all. It's a lancelet kind of shape. This area is gonna have to get rid of some problems. There it goes, it just blended right in with that hinge over there. I want this to go that direction. There it goes. We had to do kind of an oblique flake because that angle of that flake that kind of hinged was at that angle, so we wanted to catch that rise that the hinge created. Whoa, that was terrible. I think I need maybe a rougher abrasion on some of these. One of the predominant styles that was used by the Pomo and the people that were gathering this material is the Excelsior blade, which actually this piece could pass as right now. You just have to sharpen up the edge. But yeah, they're just kind of a cool blade shape and very common. At this stage too, we have to start thinking about our contours because we don't want this to be super thin. If it becomes too thin, then we will have problems with trying to get a good pattern on this final stage piece. I'll probably do this in two parts. I mean, in this video, we've turned it into this biface here. And then the next will be pressure flaking. Probably do like 2 or 3 passes, depending on how smooth the contours are before I start. That's what we're trying to do right now, is get rid of these humps on the edge. Part of this being even is that you want the flakes to all be on the same level. Just slight small flakes here. A couple of long ones in there just to tune it out, or just to you know, measure the get all of the pieces and areas at the same level. This tool is getting a little harder to work on this piece because it's getting narrower and the platforms are pretty close to others. I'll start using the corner of the tool. It's like the busiest time of day, so people are out in their yards doing all kinds of work. Still haven't removed all the cortex from the base, but I'll probably do that. I can do it right now. I can do it right now, won't worry. There goes cortex from the base. We can get a few more, probably like one flake right here. Level that out. The rest of this, there's just a low area in here that kind of sucks. We should be able to get that out. I really don't like the lighting. Hold on. Better. So now we're going to start pressure flaking it. I'll do a first pass. It's not really that interesting. This is that low area I'm talking about. But this is about the thickness that I want for starting a series of pressure flakes. Cool.